Imagine if you could take all the strange and fascinating bits of the world and, well, sort of piece them together like a puzzle. That's what we try to do here at the All Sorts podcast,
Oh.
offer a clearer, more intriguing picture.
It's all about sparking curiosity, right? I mean, we all love a good mystery, a story that keeps us guessing.
Absolutely. And you, our listeners, have given us a real head-scratcher this time. A whole bunch of documents about a case that, honestly, it's both bizarre and kind of terrifying.
Oh, yeah, those Circleville letters. I've heard about them, but I haven't really dug into the details.
Well, we're about to do just that. A deep dive into this unsettling story from a small town in Ohio. It's about fear, accusations, and doubts that have hung over Circleville for, gosh, decades now.
Decades. Wow. So what are we talking about here?
For almost 20 years, people in Circleville lived with this knowledge that someone right there among them, was sending out these anonymous letters just filled with nasty stuff.
Anonymous letters. Like hate mail or something.
More than that. Much more. We're talking accusations, threats, all kinds of disturbing things. And the big questions, the ones we're going to try and answer for you today, are who wrote these letters? How did they know so much about everyone's personal lives? And what was their motive? Was it just to cause chaos or something more sinister?
And this all happened way before the internet and social media, right?
Right. This was back in the mid-1970s. Think rotary phones and, well, sending letters through the actual mail.
So paint us a picture. What was Circleville like back then?
Well, from what I've gathered, it was pretty much your typical small town, quiet, peaceful, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone else.
Sounds almost idyllic.
It probably was until those letters started arriving. The first ones appeared in 1976, and a woman named Mary Gillespie, a school bus driver, was one of the early targets.
A school bus driver, so
Yeah.
it's someone everyone would have recognized.
Exactly. Imagine her getting this letter in the mail. No return address, just a postmark from Columbus, which is about 30 miles away. And this letter accuses her of having an affair with the married school superintendent, a man named Gordon Massey.
Whoa, that's pretty bold. But it gets worse, right?
Oh, yeah. The letter goes on to threaten Mary's children. It actually says, I know where you live. I've been observing your house and know you have children. I mean, talk about chilling.
As a parent myself, that would send shivers down my spine. So how did she react?
At first, she tried to ignore it. I mean, who wouldn't? You'd hope it was just some sick joke, right?
Makes sense. But it didn't stop there, did it?
No, not at all. A few days later, she gets another letter. This one, even more vile, calling her names, accusing her of all sorts of things, and threatening to drive her out of Ohio. And again, it targets her daughter, asking, how's your little girl? Will she grow up to be like you? Just awful.
This is beyond harassment at this point. This is someone trying to really hurt her mentally and emotionally.
And it wasn't just her. About 2 weeks after Mary got that first letter, her husband, Ron Gillespie, received one too.
Oh, no. What did that one say?
This letter told Ron to confront Mary about the supposed affair, demanding he make her admit the truth and call the school board. It was like this writer was trying to blow up their lives.
That's so manipulative, creating all this drama and suspicion. So what did Mary and her husband do?
Well, both Mary and Gordon Massey, the school superintendent, denied the affair. They actually tried to take things into their own hands.
What do you mean, like investigate themselves?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mary, Ron's sister, and their brother-in-law, Paul Freshour, they all got together and made a list of people they suspected.
Interesting. So they had some ideas about who might be behind this.
Apparently. And they sent letters to these people, basically telling them to stop. Can you imagine getting a letter like that?
It's like something out of a movie. So did that work? Did the letters stop?
For a little while, yeah. But it was just a brief pause. By mid-1977, the letters started up again. More frequent and, if you can believe it, even more threatening.
I thought this writer was getting bolder.
One letter, and this is particularly horrifying, warned Mary that if she didn't tell the school board about the affair, they'd put a bullet in her little girl's head. This wasn't about gossip anymore. It was a direct threat of violence.
This is escalating really quickly. It's terrifying.
And then tragedy struck. In August of '77, Mary was on vacation in Florida. Ron gets this anonymous phone call. Apparently, it was a really heated argument. Afterward, Ron told his kids he knew who the letter writer was. He grabbed his gun and left the house like he was going to confront this person.
Oh, no. This doesn't sound good.
It wasn't. Ron never came home. He was found dead in his pickup truck. It looked like a crash, but here's where it gets really strange. The autopsy showed his blood alcohol level was way over the legal limit. Twice the limit, actually.
But you said he wasn't a big drinker.
That's what everyone who knew him said. And people who saw him before he left said he seemed totally sober. But here's the other thing. They found his gun under his body, and one shot had been fired.
Okay, hold on. So we've got a guy who doesn't drink much, suddenly having a ton of alcohol in his system, a fatal crash, and a fired gun. That's a lot of coincidences.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, was this really just an accident? Or was there something more sinister going on? How did his blood alcohol level get so high so fast? And if he fired that gun, at whom? Or what?
These are the questions that haunt this whole case, and things just get weirder from here. After Ron's death, the letters didn't stop. They actually became more widespread.
It wasn't just about Mary Gillespie anymore.
Right. The writer started targeting all sorts of people in Circleville. It was like they were trying to expose everyone's dirty laundry.
It's estimated that over 1,000 letters were sent between 1977 and 1983. Imagine living in this town, constantly wondering if you'd be the next one to get one of these letters in your mailbox.
What kinds of things were in these letters? Just more accusations.
It was a mix. There were accusations of affairs, of course, but also things like fraud, shady business deals, even talk of a murder cover-up. It was like the writer knew all the town's secrets, and they weren't afraid to use them.
So they really did their homework. They knew how to push people's buttons.
Absolutely. And there's another interesting development after Ron's death. Mary Gillespie and Gordon Massey, the school superintendent, admitted they had been having an affair.
Ah, so the letters were right about that at least.
They claimed it started after the letters began, but some people, including Paul Freshour, Ron's brother-in-law, believed it had been going on all along.
Well, that just adds fuel to the fire, right? It's like suddenly those letters seem even more credible.
Exactly. The whole town was buzzing with gossip and suspicion. And the harassment of Mary didn't stop with the letters. Signs started popping up along her school bus route, making fun of her daughter. It was just cruel.
So this writer was relentless. They were everywhere. But then things took a really dark turn, didn't they?
Yeah. In 1983, Mary found another one of those signs about her daughter. But this one was different. It had a box attached to it, connected by a string. When she looked inside, she found a loaded gun.
Whoa. Are you serious? A loaded gun.
It was rigged to fire if someone tried to remove the sign. It wasn't just words anymore. This was a real attempt to cause serious harm.
It's like this writer finally snapped. They went from intimidation to outright violence.
And this is where Paul Freshour, the brother-in-law, comes back into the story. The gun in the box was traced back to him.
So did he confess?
No, he claimed the gun had been stolen from his house a few weeks earlier, but they did a handwriting analysis. And based on that and some other evidence, they arrested him for attempted murder.
Handwriting analysis, is that really reliable?
It's been debated a lot, but in this case, it was enough to get Freshour convicted. He got a pretty hefty prison sentence.
Okay, so they put the guy behind bars. Case closed, right?
Well, that's what you'd think. But here's the thing that makes this story so strange. The letters didn't stop.
Wait, what? He was in prison. How could he keep sending letters?
That's the million-dollar question. For another 10 years, after Freshour went to prison, those letters kept showing up in Circleville, still postmarked from Columbus.
This is unbelievable. The guy's locked up and the letters are still coming.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. Freshour always maintained his innocence. He even said some of the letters had arsenic in them.
So was he running some kind of operation from inside prison?
The prison authorities tried to figure that out. They put him in solitary confinement, strip-searched him all the time, really restricted his mail. But the letters kept coming.
Maybe he had someone on the outside sending them for him.
Possibly. But the writer was using glossy stamps, and those weren't allowed in prison. It's just one more detail that makes this so confusing.
Okay, this is getting to me. What other theories are there?
Well, some people think Freshour pre-wrote a bunch of letters before going to prison and had someone mail them out later.
Clever, but risky. What about other suspects? Surely there are other people they looked at.
Oh yeah, there was Karen Sue Freshour, Paul's ex-wife. They had a messy divorce, so she had a motive.
And she was quick to point the finger at Paul, right?
Yep. Plus, there was a bus driver who saw a man who fit the description of Karen Sue's boyfriend near where they found that booby trap with the gun.
Interesting. But could she really have pulled all this off?
Some people think so, but others aren't convinced. And then there's another theory, one that came from Paul Freshour himself.
Really? What did he say?
He reportedly told some people that he thought his own son, Mark, might have stolen the gun.
His own son? Why would he do that?
It's not clear. But Paul apparently kept quiet about it out of loyalty to his family. Sadly, Mark Freshour committed suicide in 2002. Some people wonder if guilt over this whole thing might have played a role.
Oh, this just keeps getting more and more tragic. So many lives affected by these letters. It makes you wonder, how could one person or even a small group manage to keep this up for so long?
It's a testament to the power of anonymity, I guess. Even in this digital age where we leave trails everywhere we go, it's still possible to disappear behind a mask.
And it seems like that anonymity brings out the worst in some people. All these accusations, all this negativity, it's rare to hear about someone using their anonymity to spread kindness, isn't it?
That's a really good point. It makes you wonder about human nature. Do we need someone to hold us accountable before we'll do the right thing?
It's something to think about, for sure.
So after all this, after digging through all these documents and theories, we're still left with questions. Who was really behind the Circleville Letters? Was it Paul Freshour orchestrating it all from behind bars? Or was it someone else entirely?
And what was their goal? To torment Mary Gillespie? To expose everyone's secrets? Or just to sow chaos in this small town?
And that's where we leave it to you, our listeners. What do you make of all this? Can one person truly hold an entire community hostage with just words on paper?
And in a world that's more connected than ever, does the idea of truly anonymous communications still have the power to scare us, to make us doubt everything and everyone?
If this deep dive into the strange case of the Circleville Letters has got your mind racing, well, that's exactly what we love to do here at the All Sorts podcast.
We try to take those fascinating, sometimes unsettling fragments of the world and piece them together for you.
And we've got so many more fascinating stories to tell, so many more puzzles to solve.
You can find us on YouTube. Just search for All Sorts Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll never miss an episode.
And while you're at it, share this episode with your friends, family, anyone who loves a good mystery. Let's get a conversation going.
And you can find us on X, Instagram, and Threads, too, for even more behind-the-scenes stuff and, just to connect.
So until next time, keep those minds curious and those questions coming. Your journey into the well-informed continues with the All Sorts podcast.